All right, hi everyone. This is Gav again, and this is big for the last time in this IPL 2020. And at the end, Mumbai won. I don't even know what to say because it reminded me, Bikram, of 2003. That's how old I am, and you are as well. That when India faced Australia in the final, I was in South Africa. I used to live in Australia at that time. I will not get into all the humiliation I had to face later on. But I'll tell you that when India was there, I mean, when I saw it realistically, it was like Australia were like way ahead. They had already thrashed them in the league matches, and then they were coming again. And now I realize that Mumbai had already thrashed Delhi like 3 times. And that time they had Australia thrashed India once, and they had been thrashed thrice. Now this is the 4th time they were beaten by Mumbai, and this is the team which was in the final. This is the team I picked. My prophecy was Delhi will be in the final, correct. My prophecy was Delhi will lose in the final, that was correct. And I'm so unhappy because I'm like, this is not the Delhi I wanted in the final in the first place.
Yeah.
So it was just weird. I think you also had Delhi in the final losing, or you had
losing.
But you had Mumbai in the final losing.
Mumbai in the final losing.
Yeah, you had Mumbai in the final because we had both RCB. So my prophecy came true, but the way it happened, I mean, if today Delhi had won some by hook or crook because some stupidity by Rohit Sharma, for whatever reason, why Rohit Sharma of all the people is running? I'm like, dude, you don't run. You don't run.
You're not
You
fit
never
enough.
run. And Surya Kumar is like, what is happening? What is happening? And then I'm like, Surya Kumar is like, why is this guy running? And before it, he decides like, fuck it, he's anyway scoring runs, so let's just get out. So that happened. But another incredible performance. It was pretty straightforward apart from the very first match where they were a bit wobbly. I think around the 3rd or 4th match onwards, it was very clear that Mumbai is like really standing apart. And particularly when everybody was actually on 7-7-7, when it felt like Delhi, Mumbai and RCB were actually similar teams. Mumbai actually showed everybody that they were actually far ahead. And I don't know, eventually it was just pretty straightforward. That's why I was saying that hope SRH doesn't lose because of something.
Yeah.
And SRH comes in the final, it will be a very good game. But if Delhi comes in the final, it'll be like, dude, we just beat you 3 times. You're here again? Should we beat you again? And then they did that anyway. I think Delhi tried the same tactics they tried. They got lucky with the toss again. And they tried the same tactics they tried with SRH, but it doesn't work. Lightning doesn't strike twice. So it didn't happen today. Also, people sort of work you out a little bit. And didn't happen. Luck didn't fall their way. Obviously, they had a little bit luck, and eventually Shreyas and I don't think Shreyas played really well or something.
Yeah.
I think he was a little bit lucky, and he was not able to accelerate towards the end. So I don't give him a lot of credit. But I feel the little fat boy, he did play well, and he really tried to hit it, and it just didn't come off at the end, because if he had stayed, he could have actually gotten like, I don't know, 45 ball 85 or something, which would have really catapulted. I was looking at around 175. I think that would have been a total that would have been difficult to chase, or at least because the finals pressure does come in, and Rohit Sharma was a little bit nervy to start with, but he went for that 6.
Yeah.
He took that chance. After that, you feel like, okay, I am Rohit Sharma. I'm gonna be all right. So it was pretty straightforward after that. This is the 5th. By the way, I just got to know this is Rohit Sharma's 6th final and 6th win. Apparently, I did not remember till now, but now I've been made privy to the fact that he was playing for Deccan Chargers, and under Adam Gilchrist, he won the tournament there. So, and he has never lost in the final. This is 6th final, and for Mumbai in the last 8 years, because the first 5 years they did not win it, and the last 8 years they won it 5 times. Of all the 5 times they've actually been, and they've also broken the jinx of odd even. So like the same thing Rohit Sharma was doing in this tournament, like play well and win one and then not win one. This time they won back to back, and now they're gonna go for a treble next time, which will probably happen in India or maybe some other country or maybe Singapore or something. So because IPL, if it starts on time, will be so close. You'll be like, okay, we just finished an IPL. What the hell is going on? And there'll be a lot of topsy-turvy on the Rohit Sharma situation, because now Rohit Sharma is in the team and Varun is not in the team. So it's just been very weird. I don't know. It will probably keep changing. It feels like selection is now...
He's not in the limited overs team, Rohit Sharma.
Yeah, well, like he was not in any team before, but now he's in the test squad for whatever reason.
Because Virat is coming back.
Because Virat Kohli is like coming back for the baby, which is going to be a big miss, because going right after the first match, I think that's going to be something.
Yeah.
But I think because Virat is playing one match, so he'll probably put in all the effort in the first match, and let's see, maybe if they can pull off an unlikely victory.
That's also a day-night test, so that'll be something.
It must be in Adelaide then.
Yeah, it is.
Well, fair enough. I don't know where to start, but obviously Delhi had a really, really poor start, but they sort of pulled back from there. It was almost something it's not something we've not seen before. I've already said, like, if Stone is going to work in one match, he's obviously not going to work in the next. Then he made a duck. They have this very amazing habit of somebody making a duck in the top. Okay. They just have this amazing habit, and now they make golden ducks as well. So this guy got out on the first delivery. Dhawan actually was playing well, but then he got out, cleaned up by Jadhav.
Jayant
And
who was in Delhi last year.
yeah, well, like I think it was not a very great delivery or anything. It just Dhawan just played all over it. Rahane obviously seems to have already made way too many runs, and I don't know. This is really going to impact his career. This thing, if he's going to keep playing IPL, it's not going to help him. Then
should do like Pujara is doing.
Yeah. And then today, officially, Bumrah is no longer going to be the purple cap. Is that a purple cap? Yeah. Because this guy took 4 wickets. See, that I told you that was the plan. He said, let's lose this match. Yeah, let's lose this match. Bumrah gets less matches. So it's the same. It's like it's like the Manchester City playing Liverpool. It's a 6-point match, right? So not only after Delhi loses, they play extra match. Bumrah gets one less match because of that. And now you're like, oh, you'll keep playing more matches. And now he beat him very easily today. I think eventually he got 30 wickets and Bumrah was stuck on 27, I believe. Yeah. Because Bumrah didn't get a wicket today, or as far as I can say.
He didn't get a wicket
today. But he bowled well. He bowled nicely. Everybody bowled nicely. Trent bowled, whom a lot of time I end up calling Usain Bolt. So Bolt bowled like a bolt. So it was pretty good. Once they started that well, you knew then if Delhi still had a chance of at one time they can actually make 175.
They recovered well. They recovered well because generally this was not happening. Whenever the top was going out cheaply, the middle order used to fold as well. But today they scored runs. I think both scored 50, right? Shreyas and Pant.
Correct.
But
both got out after that.
But they just got out. And Shreyas Iyer made some runs, but he was not able to accelerate at the end. And as you said, Pant needed to be there. Akshar Patel came in. He didn't have any deliveries. Then again, this guy Hitmire. So that also he's also not very reliable. That's why he was in RCB, I think, 2 seasons back, and then they released him. So yeah, I mean, missed opportunity because they were in the game at one point of the time, but they just let it go. And 157 wouldn't have been a big score on this Dubai wicket, because Dubai wicket is not so slow compared to the other two venues. Plus, it's a big ground, right? So, run a ball, 6, 7 and over, 8 and over is not very difficult. You can take singles, doubles. Of course, Rohit Sharma won't be doing that, but I'm just saying that there's no pressure. I mean, even if you're not able to get boundaries, you can still take the 1 and 2s and 3s. But yeah, I mean, this is just very subdued final. Compared to the tournament.
Sort of expected, I think. Sort of expected that this is probably was going to happen eventually. And Rahul eventually wins the purple orange cap. Which he had made enough runs. There's a difference. I don't know if you know this thing, but when they have this tournament, AFL, which is in Australian Footy League, so they have the similar situation. Obviously, it's a much longer tournament, but they have finals and everything, which is similar to this. But they have 8 teams. So, but the point is like how they do it is, which is in a fair way, in a fair world. Like when you have the best player or something, they do not count any matches outside the league stages, because that becomes unfair on the other people. Just because you're a shit team and your team doesn't qualify, think about it, it's like a double whammy. Not only you getting a lot of wickets in a shit team, because for you, just understand, like if KL Rahul, forget about cricket's intricacies and the nuances of how did you get those runs, which matches and what was your run rate and everything, or your strike rate and everything. So we just say like if KL Rahul's team does not get qualified, that means they're probably a bad team, right? And then he gets 670 runs in the same group matches in 14 matches. Then the teams which qualify, not only those teams are good, they do better, and then they get extra matches to beat him, which is just ridiculous, right? So when they do in AFL, what they do is that the league matches are the same for everybody. I think they play around 30 matches. I don't know how many. Oh no, sorry, they may play 20 matches. So those 20 matches, whatever comes across for them from those, whatever points you get from there, they decide the best player, which is called a Brownlow medal there.
Okay.
So you get the Brownlow medal from there. They don't ever count any matches which are in playoffs.
Like the super
because that becomes
over
unfair.
thing, because in super over, whatever happens, whether you take wickets or score runs, that is not counted towards your overall score. So yeah, it makes sense.
But that's kind of a little bit inconsequential. I'm just saying that super over, you can't really make 68 runs. But it's to make it fair. Then I noticed that here they don't give a shit. So people keep playing more and more matches. So
Like Rabada.
because I'm just saying at the end, Rabada was not the best bowler. Jasprit Bumrah was the best bowler.
Yeah.
Jasprit Bumrah played less matches. Also, Bumrah got rested. And if you say the strike rate and everything is way through
Economy
the
is
roof,
also better.
you know,
Much better.
Jasprit is just so much amazing. Like he's made 6.73, and eventually Rabada was not the best bowler, but then he eventually ends up getting more. So, but that's how, I mean, if you say like, probably people can say, oh, it's football also like this. You know, if Lionel Messi plays all the matches, other people are injured in 3, so it doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, at least in the round robin matches, if you're not able to play or if you're rested, that's at least upon you. But when you qualify for playoff, that's just out and out extra matches, which completely not in your hand. True. In a team sport, right? So if it's like a tennis match or something, I can understand. You can accumulate more and more points because you're qualifying on your own. But when you're depending on other people, then I'm like, that's not really fair. So if Rahul had missed out on this thing, not that I care particularly for Rahul's situation here, but it would have been unfair. And right now, I definitely feel Jasprit Bumrah was out and out bowler of the tournament. And if it was not for like today, he did not take wickets, specifically on today when Mumbai played really, really well, because your role also changes accordingly, right? When somebody else starts taking wicket, your role becomes like, you hold the wicket. You make sure that nobody gets out. In fact, I think Jasprit Bumrah, tried to take a wicket by appealing for a LBW, which was never LBW, which was outside the line. I was like, that's definitely outside the line. But I realized that 3 balls to go. He's like, I've got 2 wickets less than Rabada. This is my chance. Let me take it. We're going to win the match anyway. So that was the deal for them. And I'm just looking at the scorecards and everything. David Warner finishes 3rd. Shikhar Dhawan. I'm really impressed by Shikhar Dhawan's strike rate. And eventually, although he ended up playing 17 matches, so he definitely had the advantage. But overall, Rahul's has 130. Could have been better. But I have to say, like, once one of your player plays that well, as long as they had hitters, right hitters at the right place, because as obviously everybody will agree that they got Gale way too late. Gale got late. If he was there earlier and KL Rahul was playing the form he was playing, Mayank was playing the way, they would have won a lot more matches than they did. And they would have been the real contenders against Mumbai as well. And but that's the way it works, right? So they dropped off eventually. It was fine. And I don't know if we learned anything from this IPL. Nothing new really came out, although Delhi still, their numbers seem much better than they were. Because there is no reason to believe that Delhi was number 2 team of all the teams that were out there. It just doesn't feel that like way. That, I was just more disappointed in RCB eventually because Delhi was just making a lot of decisions. But RCB, they have the captain. This was the best moment. I was constantly making fun of Rohit and the entire their team being fat and other shit, because some of them were fat, some of them were like super fit. So it's like half of them were like Virat Kohli, half of them were like Rohit Sharma followers. So but today Sharma took a chance and on the 3rd delivery just managed to clear the rope. But this is exactly how T20 works. The margins, these like, they just completely flipped the game. If Rohit Sharma had gotten out that time, things could have been completely different. But and if when Rohit Sharma got Surya Kumar Yadav run out and if scoreboard was 175, things could have changed again. But then there was no scoreboard pressure, and when you already won all your tournaments, every time you're in the final, and you've already beaten this team 3 times, you just, and I don't know, did you notice, like, although Shreyas stays calm, but I think he needs to like not stay calm and not go like negative, because he doesn't seem to go negative. But he needs to go like bit more, energy needs to come into play, man. Like this is you need to like just pump up your players. Nothing is happening.
He becomes demoralized. I think his face shows that he's like lost all hope or anything. If something goes wrong.
I don't even think they believe themselves that they wanted, because it was like, oh, it's so great, I've been in the final. They were like, you already given up before the match or something. So but it's been a very great IPL. I would say that it's something that I think we couldn't have asked for more, except for a better final. Obviously if SRH was there, it would have been a better final, but SRH has so many injuries, the way they did eventually,
Yeah.
and eventually really an injury really took them down because once you get eventually a Saha, and because the 7-4 rule, they can't even get Johnny Bairstow back in. I mean, eventually just feels like a shame, right? Because Johnny Bairstow was the wicket keeper. He was the person who would have come in and destroyed, but you just can't play
Yeah.
your player because of a rule. It's like a quota system. It's like the same way that, this is how we'll do it. It's just so rigid.
Is there
And
such
I'm like,
system in
that
any
is-
other league? I have not seen that. Not there in EPL. Is it there in EPL?
What?
This quota system, like you can't have.
Of course not. It's not there anywhere. EPL has like 19 player, all foreign players.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's
Then the
not there
quota
anywhere.
system is against the English players. Domestic players quota system. It's like, no, for enough, go out. When Arsene Wenger was there, the entire Arsenal team was French team.
I think it's there in
It
the
becomes
Indian
like
league,
that.
the football league. It's there. I think they also have something like that, 4 or 5 foreign players. It's only in India, I think. These things.
They're just trying to promote certain things, and only a league can survive, which is already very, very strong. Nobody else can do it. I'm pretty sure they don't do it in BBL and other teams as well. So they just always, If it's whoever gets in, who gets in, right? It's simple as that. They cannot make people stay out.
Yeah.
They can't afford that nonsense. Only rich people can do that. That's why I saw Neeta Ambani was like saying 5. I said, okay, stop doing it. This like sounds moronic. You're like 65 years old with like 16 plastic surgeries, and your skin looks like you're like 7 years old.
Yeah.
So,
skin
and
is
what's been
so
becoming whiter every
Yeah,
year, man?
it's
He's like,
whiter and
he
whiter.
couldn't get more whiter. It's crazy. And your son, is he putting on weight again? What is going on?
Yeah, he is putting.
Yeah, he lost so much weight. Now he seems like putting the weight back on. And I think by tomorrow he will be like 16 kilo heavier. So
And
that worked out.
Yeah.
So I don't know what else to talk about, man. Seriously, I just want to rehash the entire thing. But I definitely feel that Devdutt Patikal he looks like a player. He just needs to become the player now because he has the technique. Can he have the same temperament? Because eventually, if you don't perform in the finals, that sticks with you.
Yeah.
What happens when you start performing in crunch games early on? You say, like, you tell yourself, I can perform, but you don't perform early on, then it takes you 15 years, like it took Sachin Tendulkar, 17 maybe. So, right now, people don't play like Tendulkar, right? People don't play for 23 years. So, if 17 years later, you're already like, Vinod Kambli only had 3 years, you started with this guy. He had 3 and Sachin had 23. So, it was like, okay, you played for me as well. And all the vitriolic against, I think, little bit whatever Gambhir says apart from his personal agenda, it's part of it has to be fair that they need to do certain things that they with the team and everything that they have, and Virat Kohli is and AB de Villiers and everything that they have, they need to perform better because it's not just about winning, but I mean the way they're getting nervous, the way they're just getting underperforming constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see Mumbai, they just strut on the pitch, man. They're like super confident,
And Mumbai,
and then they perform.
Yeah, and if you see Mumbai, their stars don't perform that much, but their fringe players. I mean, fringe players. I'm talking about the players who have not played for India or who have not consolidated their position in the Indian team. They are also playing so well. In fact, I think half of the tournament was carried by Suryakumar Yadav, who has not played any single match for India. Then I think the Pandya brothers, they are also. I mean, Krunal Pandya is not really a regular team member. And then there was Deepak Chahar. Was it Deepak Chahar or the other Chahar? I always get confused.
In Mumbai?
Yeah, there is this one Chahar brother, right, in Mumbai, spinner.
Rahul
Chahar. Yeah. So he also bowled well.
Who didn't play today?
Today he didn't play because they played Jayant Yadav. I think it's Jayant Yadav, I think it was his first match, I think, in the tournament. And
could be, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and he just came
Never
in
seen him.
and took the big wicket of Dhawan, because Dhawan is the one who is carrying the team, right? Delhi team. If you see, whenever he has scored, most of the time they have won, and then other players would just play around him. So yeah, I think if you are in a champion team, even average players raise their game. Ishan Kishan has also played really good knocks.
He was the highest scorer for Mumbai this season.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I mean. Forget about Rohit Sharma, even Kieran Pollard. He didn't get enough chances to bat, and whenever he came, he clicked in couple of matches. So I'm just saying that that's how team wins. You cannot just depend upon one or two individuals like how RCB depends on just these two people. And because of that, they also get into a lot of pressure, right? Because they think that, oh, there's no one behind us. And that's what we were talking about when in the...
But then so they're supposed to just fix it. There's no point talking about it. They're just supposed to fix it. They've seen a lot of time. So Gambhir in his way, apart from being like completely like ridiculous about his personal agenda, I mean, it's fair that, you know, they need to fix that problem. Everybody knows this problem. They know the problem. That's but I'm looking at the stats. It says Ishan Kishan has the only player from Mumbai who scored 500. Actually, Quinton de Kock also scored 500. But his averages are like 57.3, which is the highest average in the history. And he's scoring at 145.76. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what.
Like, it's ridiculous. And he has the highest sixes. I mean, everything. Ishan Kishan is the legend. The legend.
Yeah, he almost won the match against...
Prithvi is back to Prithvi now. Prithvi is back to Prithvi.
Yeah, he is.
Like actual Zameen Pe.
Tare Zameen
He's
Pe.
on the Zameen. So his name should be changed to Zameen Pe. Tare Zameen Pe. So he's back to Zameen. But did you hear this quote by Ricky Ponting? I don't know whether it was his way of like sledging from the outside or whatever nonsense that he was trying. But it was the dumbest quote ever. He said, like, if there's one team that Mumbai doesn't want to play of all the teams, it is us. Dude, you just lost with them three times. What is wrong with you? Like, are you just, is this some kind of joke? Like, this is a very bad joke. Like, if there's a team that don't want, like, it's us, or like,
Maybe just talking about the Australian team.
Nobody ever loses thrice against a team. And then they're like, this is the team we are worried about. Like, Mumbai, literally everybody in the entire tournament, they've not beaten them twice. Okay. They've just beaten once and lost once, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You are the only team which you are the team they have 9 wins because of. Dude, Jesus Christ. You're like, we don't want to play us. Like, Jesus.
And
doesn't make any sense.
And I was just going to, since we were talking about Ishan Kishan and you mentioned de Kock, you know, de Kock was in RCB. And after single season they just released him, and since then he has won two trophies from last year and this year. Just imagine, they had
obviously recruitment is all over the place.
Yeah,
right?
That's the problem.
They keep releasing people. They released Stoinis also.
Yeah, that was also there.
No, see, the point is that when people are not performing, you need to understand why they're not performing. You can't keep releasing people. You need to make sure if you have the talent. If you don't have the talent, for example, you just feel like Prithvi is just not going to perform, then you release this person. But when you have a talent and that talent is not performing, you need to figure out why the fuck is this guy not performing, because you're going to get another talent. That talent will also not perform. Problem is with you. If you get a talent, you can't keep releasing the talent. You need to make sure that they're performing. I understand there are certain other things factors that come into play. Maybe Quinton de Kock, these people have these salaries and everything, and there's certain factors that come into play. And they're like, if we release him, we can get somebody else with a better salary, maybe a better chance of this thing. But no, Quinton de Kock, you feel he's a wicket keeper and he's a gen of a batsman. You don't even have an opening batsman, first of all. Okay. This guy is an opening batsman, ace wicket keeper, international, AB de Villiers is already there. You can have your own parties and shit. So I don't understand why this guy gets caught.
Just imagine.
Stoinis. Have you seen Stoinis? Stoinis bowls. He can do a lot of tons of things and he looks like a fucking bodybuilder. Okay. So I don't know what, and I've seen Virat Kohli multiple times praising Stoinis, and Stoinis was the highest wicket keeper or whatever, best player in BBL this season also.
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, he's going to get out and other things, but he's the person who's going to actually score very high. He can become that 5, 6, 7, right? Which we need the hitters who can actually close out the game. You need backup for a backup. Then you become a Mumbai team.
Exactly.
But not constantly releasing people who are actually great people. Sometimes Virat Kohli's made bad decisions. He got that other bowler for like 15 crores or something 3 or 4 seasons ago because that bowler had gotten him out twice. So that was a stupidity. That guy was like a dumb fuck, and then you got him because he got you out twice. That was just dumb, Virat. So that was a very dumb move by Virat.
He does that. That's why he got Stoinis. That's why he got this guy. There was this other South African wicketkeeper. I don't remember his name. He got him because he...
I have no idea. That's why we don't remember the name. That's why.
So, Klaassen. Henrik
Klaassen. That seems okay. But
So yeah, that's
But it's all about the balance, right? You need to have the right balance and everything in place. But they don't have the balance.
Yeah.
Right now, you can see like Virat Kohli and everybody. Virat Kohli makes runs by like. See, there's a huge difference. Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers have the same runs and same averages and everything. Virat Kohli is scoring at 121. AB de Villiers scoring at 159. There's a huge difference. Virat Kohli cannot be scoring at 121. If he's scoring at 120, go and open the innings, which you do only in the last match. It's just too late already, right? And then the chances, it's all about flipping that coin, right? Now you're going to work or not going to work. But you should have done that much earlier. And then you drop this guy towards the very end. I mean, when that guy was not playing well in the first 3-4 matches, you should have dropped him then. And then you drop him too late. Then you get Felipe coming. And Felipe is like, what am I supposed to do? He's trying to hit everything everywhere. Obviously not working. Then you bring back this guy. No. Now it's very confusing because once you've not dropped him till the 11th match, 12th match, why are you dropping in 13 and 14 match? Because this guy now is already there and now you're coming into the business end of the tournament. You're going to qualify. You really think Felipe is going to do a better job than Australian team captain? When he's already been there, seen all the pitches, so he's more likely to score, right? Yeah. So, and then they like flip-flop on that. It was just bizarre stuff that was happening. I mean, obviously Delhi was the worst ever because without decision making and everything, towards the very end, they're making a couple of decisions which will work out for them. But I just feel like this Delhi team and RCB team was just I'm picking on them because they're supposed to do better.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not KL Rahul's team, okay? So they're not KL Rahul. That's why I'm not yelling at Chennai because we expected Chennai to be shit and they were shit. And they only played well when the chips were down and everything was out. And they were like, okay, fine, let's make the tournament interesting. Let's fuck up with some teams. KKR like, why did you beat us? Why did you beat us? Like, why did you do this to us? KKR is like, Owen Morgan is like, I fucking idiot, these people. I'm leaving this team. Ruining my career. I'm the best captain ever. And didn't even qualify. Steven Smith comes last. It was just crazy. But I think eventually Steven Smith has to understand that they deserved it because there were 3 or 4 matches they just made reckless decisions, reckless everything.
And Smith also underperformed a lot. I think both Kohli and Smith. In fact, we talk about Fab 4, right, in the international arena. Out of that, only Williamson actually performed in this IPL. Other than that, both Kohli and Smith.
Fab 4. Joe Root is not even here, so you can't use it. It's Fab 3 only.
Yeah, it's Fab 3.
Who's the Fab 4? Is Joe Root still there in Fab 4 or somebody else is there? Which one are you counting?
Yeah, I think Joe Root is there. Yeah, that's the Fab 4.
Yeah, Joe Root used to be there in the Fab 4. But he's not here. Yeah, Smith and Kohli both underperformed badly. I'm not even saying there's any doubt about that. There's just pretty. In fact, Steven Smith was like even worse because he made like 311 runs and 131 strike rate at 25.91. And really, also the fact that he was opening and coming very early, he should have made at least 600 runs because of his caliber and everything, and a very much higher strike rate. So yeah, that's about it. We'll just now we're gonna wait for Mumbai to win for the 6th time next time. And let's see if there's going to be any changes in this. 6. I don't know how she's going to show 6. Maybe she can hire Hrithik Roshan for just one day so they don't have to show 2 hands. They can just show 1 hand. Like, there you go.
Hrithik Roshan was the brand ambassador of Mumbai at one point of time.
Yeah, he was. Okay, it just came to me more instantaneously. Spontaneously, I thought of. Or maybe we can just hire his hand, like the replica. And then Hrithik Roshan sues them by saying, like, what is this? Like, Hrithik will pay you, don't worry about it. Everybody has 6 fingers. He's like, this is, my sentiments are hurt. Kangna will be like, oh, now your sentiments are hurt. You're 48 years old. Your papa is still telling you your sentiment is hurt. It took a wrong turn, this thing. Yeah, it took a different turn. So we'll be doing more podcasts now. We'll be moving away from this thing. I'll go back to doing movie reviews. We'll be doing Last Dance review as well. Also, a few more things that we have planned. So let's see how this goes. Last Dance is the documentary of Michael Jordan.
Yes.
And also we're going to talk about, I thought I was forgetting something. Donald Trump. In the next podcast, we'll be doing that first. And
we have
why Donald Trump lost and why Donald Trump can still win. We'll talk about that also. That can also happen. So till then, well done Mumbai and Delhi. Well, we can say better luck next time, but just play better next time. And I don't think Delhi deserved to be in the final, but at the end they were in the final, so perhaps they probably did deserve to be in the final. And I'm happy that way that I decided they were going to come in the final. They will finish second, they did. But let's hope next IPL is actually, we can have a different winner, which will be nice as well. Let's see. All right. Till then, take care. Have a good night and have a good week. See you on the Trump podcast. Bye-bye.